Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Wednesday night, Halach and Chassidus. It's not really going to be Halach and Chassidus tonight. It's going to be Gemora and Chassidus. So we'll have to, last I heard, the Halach comes from the Gemora anyway. So that's going to be good. We're not really discussing tonight a practical halacha question, but it's an issue in the Gemara that does come up. It does have halachic ramifications, really regarding the recitation of Hallel, but we're not really going to speak about that tonight. Maybe another time. So the class is called Song of the Sea, and we're going to focus on Oz Yashir, being that it is Parashas B'Shalach, the Sfik Shav Shira, and also being that today is Yud Shvat, the 10th of Shvat, which is the Yortzeit, 1950, day, the 10th of Shvat, 1950, when the previous Rebbe, the Frierdiker Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Yom Yitzchak Schneerson, passed away, and the day that the Rebbe, his son-in-law, assumed the mantle of leadership of Chabad. So that's today marks 76 years of the Rebbe's leadership. So we're going to explore based on a talk from the Rebbe, delivered at a Fabrengen. We will first learn the Gemora. We have actually page 3. It's just I started excerpting and then I just printed the whole page. I figured it was easier. And I have the Koran to make sure we get good translations and good English words always here. And I have my new, this is called the compact chitas. And you saw the new one, the Hebrew English one? They have this in big, now they have it in small-ish. So the pasuk says, Oz Yashir Moshe Bnei Yisrael. Everybody knows this, right? Then, Oz, then. When's then? Future. Shiach. Oz Yashir Moshe Bnei Yisrael. Then Moshe and the Israelites sang this song to Hashem. As Shira Azois Lashem. They sang this song. Which song? Yes. Oz Yashir, the one, right. Oz Yashir is not really the song, right? Oz Yashir, then they're going to sing. So what song is it? It's the song that we're about to read, right? Ashiru Lashem ki go'ay go'ah, sus v'rechem v'rech v'ramavayom, oz ziver zimros ka, etc. It's the song we're about to read. So the pasuk says, Oz es ashiru azois Lashem, vayomeru lemor. That's going to be the focus of our shir today. Vayomeru, they said, lemor, saying. They said, saying. Or they translated here, they said as follows. That's how they translated here in the English. They said as follows, quote, Ashira la Hashem ki go'oi go'ah. I will sing to Hashem, for he is exalted beyond any other exalted being. He cast both horse and rider into the sea. Okay, everybody's familiar with the pasuk. So we are going to discuss this today, the Gemora in Masechta Soita. Some people maybe have learned this Gemora before. It's actually a fairly well-known Gemara. I mean, I guess relatively speaking, it's well-known. I don't know. Well, it's well-known to me because I learned Masechta Soita, as is the Chabad custom, between Pesach and Shavuos. So I've learned it before. But now we're going to learn it better, God willing. So let's take a look at the Gemara on the unnumbered page, which is page 3. Tanu Rabbanon, the sages taught. Easy to find where we are in the Gemara, right? Put it in a box, thanks to Adobe Acrobat. Tanu Rabbanon. Boy Bayoim Darish Akiva. On that very day, that same day that there were various other teachings that Rabbi Akiva was sharing about the Tchum Shabbos, the limits of how far you can go on Shabbos, and so forth, various other regards, he also taught as follows. He taught as follows. And this is our parsha now. When the Yidden ascended from the sea, or they translated, here they say ascended. The time that the Jewish people ascended from the sea, the split sea. Nosnu eineihem loimar shira. They set their eyes, means they set their sights to sing shira, to sing a song of gratitude to Hashem. The Chaitzad Amru Shira. How did they do it? In what manner did they recite, or rather sing this song? The Gemara continues, the Gemara continues. Like an adult man who's reciting Hallel on behalf of everyone in shul, on behalf of the congregation. Meaning that by this one individual reciting Hallel, he is thereby enabling others to also, who hear him saying Hallel, they are then fulfilling their obligation of also hearing him saying Hallel. Because Shemea Ke'oina, right? One who hears something, at least within certain parameters, is considered to have said it himself or responded in kind. So like an adult man reciting the Hallel on behalf of everyone else. And the congregation who's just standing there listening, minding their own business, well, not really minding their own business, but listening to the Chazan who's leading the Hallel, what do? They recite after him Roshei Prokim, the chapter headings of the Hallel prayer. So, what in plain English? Let's have the Gemara spell it out for us. What did they actually say and not say at the Yam, at the sea? So the Gemara continues. This is now the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. We're going to have three opinions, a three-way machlokes that's going on. Starting with Rabbi Akiva. Moshe Omar, so according to Rabbi Akiva, the following. My wife told me I should make a chart, and I fully intended on making a chart, and it didn't happen. So anyway, make the chart in your mind now. This is what Rabbi Akiva says. Moshe Omar Shir Lashem. Moshe would begin and he would say, not Oz Yashir, right? Because the song's not really called Oz Yashir. But he would say, Ashir Lashem. Vehein Oimrim, and the Jewish people gathered around would say, Ashir Lashem. They would repeat exactly what he said. Moshe Omar Kigoi Ga'a. Moshe would then continue. Kigoi Ga'a, that he is most exalted, he's the most exalted being. And the Jewish people would respond, Vehein Oimrim, Ashir Lashem. They would not respond, Kigoi Ga'a. They would respond back to the initial phrase, Ashir Lashem. Whatever Moshe would say, they would respond, Ashira LaHashem. That is opinion number one, the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. So Moshe leads it responsibly, but with each phrase, with each subsequent phrase, the Jewish people are just saying the same thing, Ashir LaHashem. Opinion number two, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yosef Glili, says, no, not like an adult reading the Hallel, but like a minor child reciting Hallel. And he's guiding the congregation, leading them to a certain extent, but it's a little bit different. They don't just recite the Rashi Prokim, the beginning, or that initial phrase, Ashir Hashem, in response to what he says. Rather, they say whatever he says. They repeat exactly what he said, verbatim. Moshe Amar Ashir Hashem, the Gemara spells it out. Moshe Amar Ashir Hashem, Moshe would say Ashir Hashem, Ashir Hashem. Moshe Amar Ki Go'ai Ga'a, Vehein Oimrim Ki Go'ai Ga'a. Period. Whatever Moshe would say, they would repeat. Everybody with me so far? It's simple, right? It's not complicated. Third opinion. Rabbi Nechemia Omer, different. Third opinion. Kesefer HaPeiros Al Shema, the Beis HaKnesses. What does it mean? It says Rabbi Nechemia says they sang the song like a sofer, a scribe. Scribe doesn't mean he's writing tefillin or mezuzah. Scribe here means more like a chazan. Like a chazan, HaPeiros Al Shema Beis HaKnesses, who reads out loud the introductory brachos before the Shema in shul. What does it mean? That he begins by saying the first words of the blessing, and they repeat it after him. So they repeat the initial words that he said, in this case, Ashir Hashem, and then they just keep on going. They just knew what to say. How did they know what to say? Take a look. First of all, I underlined two Rashis towards the bottom of the page. Halfway down in the wide lines, you see it says, Kigodol Amakris Hallel, like the adult who's reading the Hallel, leading the Hallel. Rashi says, I underlined it, Makreu Tzibur. He reads it on behalf of or in front of the Tzibur. For what purpose? In order that they should fulfill their obligation through him, through the Chazan, basically. Fine. Now let's skip to the next Rashi I underlined, Kesefer. We read the whole Rashi because Kaseifer. What is the Sefer? It doesn't mean a scribe really. It's Malamed Tanoikos, a teacher of children. Who taught him Beis HaKnesses. He's always in shul. Why? Because he's teaching the kids how to daven and how to do what they need to do. So he's always in shul. And he quote unquote spreads out. We'll see in a minute. He spreads out for the Shema for 10 that are there, the minyan that's there. What is Pairis? What does it mean to spread out? Pairis lashon prus hachag. The holiday is entering. Lifnei hachag means as the holiday is about to enter, before the holiday. Meaning, that he, guiding his students, begins by reciting the blessings. As we know, there's blessings before the Shema, right? He begins by saying that. And they respond. And then, here's the point I underlined. And everyone then reads together, not in response to Moshe, not in response to the leader. He starts it off, but then they read together. And look at that. Everyone had Ruach HaKodesh, and they knew exactly what to say in the Shira. They knew what to say. How did they know? Says Rashi, Ruach HaKodesh. That's how they knew. Good. So to Chazer quickly. Opinion number one, Rabbi Akiva, is Moshe Rabbeinu said the whole Shira, and every phrase he said, we just kind of acknowledge. Yeah, Shira Lashem. For each phrase, Ashir Lashem. That's all we. So we didn't actually recite the Shira. He did, and we just kept saying Ashir Lashem as if to acknowledge or to affirm each sentence. The second opinion is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yaglili. He says that Moshe said Ashir Lashem, we said Ashir Lashem. He said Ki Ga Oiga, we said Ki Ga Oiga. So it turns out that both Moshe and us all recited the entire Az Yashir. We just repeated what he said. Third opinion of Nehemiah says Moshe started us off. He says Ashir Lashem, and we were like Ashir Lashem, and then we just went with it. We just kept going with the whole thing together with Moshe, and we knew what to say because we had Ruach HaKodesh at that time. We knew what to say in the Shir. So we didn't need to repeat. You with me so far? Yeah. What's the question on Nehemiah? There's questions on everything always, right?
Question is, how do we know what to say? We said it's Ruach HaKodesh.
Oh, how do we know what to say Ruach HaKodesh? Good, good. So did we know what to say in the Shira? We knew. Rashi, we had Ruach HaKodesh. We know what to say, according to Nehemiah. So why does Moshe need to start us off? Mela, according to the first two opinions, according to Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Eliezer ben Yisrael, I don't know what to say. I know the Shira. I've never been here before. I've never been at the Yam Suf before. I never sang Shira like this to Hashem. What am I supposed to say? Moshe, what do we say? Say Ashir Hashem. Okay, Ashir Hashem. Say Ki Ga Oiga. Okay, and then we Ashir Hashem or Ki Ga Oiga. So then he's guiding us, he's leading us. The third opinion of Nehemiah, why is he starting us off? What does it accomplish that he is initiating the Shira, even if we technically don't need him because we have Ruach HaKodesh anyway?
Well, maybe you need to have a little Chassidus, and since they didn't know any of it, Moshe had to do something, and then they act with repetition for that first phrase before the rest comes.
Okay, that's a good answer. It's a good answer. Okay, keep that in mind. Let's just, I guess, finish what I put in the box over here in the Gemora. What exactly are they arguing about? Like, it's a technicality. We sang Shira like this, we sang Shira like that. Okay. What are you guys really arguing about? That's the Gemora's question. So the Gemora answers as follows. Rabbi Akiva holds that it all comes down. Well, really, they all hold. And we're going to see the Orach Chaim soon, God willing. What is the word lamor doing there in the first place? I should have put the pasuk itself on the source sheet, right? I meant to, but then I'd already printed it, and these are the problems I have. Should be my biggest problems. But it says, we pointed this out when we started, right? Oz Yasher Moshe uvnei Yisrael es hashira hazois lashem vayoimru lamor. So lamor, generally speaking in Chumash, indicates that you are meant to repeat this to someone else. Who would you repeat it to? Someone who's not here. So lamor saying means you're hearing it because you're here. But if you're not here, then you didn't hear it. You're not hear it. So then Lamor teaches you that you should repeat it to someone else. But everyone is here. So who's it being repeated to? So what does the word Lamor function to say? What is the purpose of the word Lamor? So let's take back in the Gemara. Rebbe Kiva Sovar Lamor. What is the word Lamor going on? Amilso Kamaisa. On the first words of the song. That we only repeat Ashir Lashem, the first words. Okay. That the word Lamor means Akol Milso Milso. Lamor repeating, because it doesn't mean repeat to someone else. Because you don't need to repeat it, everyone else is here. So it must mean that the word Lamor is telling you, a Jew at Kriyas Yamsuf, I need you to repeat. Not to somebody else, just repeat it right now. Repeat what? Says Rebbe Kiva, Amilso Kamaisa. Repeat the first thing that Moshe says. Just repeat Asher Lashem. I don't care what he says, just say Asher Lashem. That's what Lamor means. Says Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Yitzhak Lili. No. Akol Milso Milso. Repeat everything. Whatever Moshe says, just repeat it verbatim. But Rabbi Nechemia, last but not least, holds a completely different shita. There's two words here, remember. Vayoimru, Lamor. Those mean effectively the same thing. But they're not repetitive. It must be that it's teaching you something different. So what does Vayoimru mean? Says Rabbi Nechemia, Vayoimru means Da'amar kulhu bahadi hadadi. Vayoimru means that they recited it together in unison. Lamor teaches you the Pasach Moshe Bereisha, that Moshe started. Even though we already asked, what does Moshe need to start for if we have Ruach HaKodesh anyway at that point, according to Rabbi Nechemia. So we're anyway going to sing Shira. So Shalom gave an answer. Good, you have to have Ishtadlos, you have to start it off. So, okay, good, it's a good answer. That's in Nechemia. Okay, questions, comments? Okay, that's the Gemara. We're going to keep the Gemara in mind. Hopefully we'll come back to it a little bit. Now we are going to go to our dear friend, the Orach Chaim. Did we ever have the Orach Chaim in a shir on a Wednesday night? I don't know if we did. Someone shares a name. Chaim Schwartz donated this beautiful set of Chumash with Orach Chaim. Shares the name with Orach Chaim. Told me when I saw him once, he said he's very into the Orach Chaim. He got this amazing Chumash and Orach Chaim. So I gave him a subliminal message and he donated it. Okay. Oh, and then Ashkacha Pratis, I was in Tov last night for something, whatever, random kind of. And I saw on the shelf, jumped out of my eyes. Did you know there's an art scroll English Orach Chaim? I didn't even know it existed. So I already had this Orach Chaim in my mind. Do you have that Orach Chaim? No. I didn't know it existed even. I knew the Ramban they did. I didn't know in the Ramban they left out all the Kabbalah. Why would they do that? The Ramban, this is being recorded, but the Ramban felt it was worthwhile to put Kabbalah into his commentary on Chumash. For whatever reason, I'm not questioning the Ramban. So what are they taking it out for? I don't know. Anyway, the Orach Chaim, I took a picture on my phone because I already had this Orach Chaim in mind, so I just pulled the volume off the shelf, opened it up, and they have it doesn't really add all that much, I don't think. I thought maybe there'd be some interesting commentary. It says like this. So we're now in our source sheet, the Orach Chaim, source number 1. Orach Chaim was born in Morocco, one of the famous Moroccan tzaddikim, of which, of course, there were very, very many Moroccan tzaddikim. And he was some, I don't know, some little shtetl or something in Morocco. I don't know. They fled Morocco because there was anti-Semitism or something. Old story in the book. Went to, I don't know, Marrakesh or somewhere, I'm not sure where, somewhere else in Morocco. I don't know where. And eventually he decided he had 2 wives. His first wife, 2 wives, meaning 2 wives at the same time. His first wife, he didn't have any kids. So he married another woman. And they had 5 children. It was 5 daughters. Such a story, right? That he would Friday night he would learn with his daughters. You know the story? Huh? Yeah. And that was the basis of his commentary, the Orach Chaim. I guess that the Orach Chaim believed in teaching women very elevated and lofty ideas, which is okay. So he went to Eretz Yisrael. I think he went through Italy, stopped in Italy for a bit, I think, I'm not sure exactly, and ended up in Eretz Yisrael, came through the port in Akko. I don't know how long he was in Akko for. And by the time we made it to Yerushalayim, he passed away within a year of arriving in Yerushalayim. And he's buried on Har HaZeisim. He's, as far as I know, his most notable student, as far as I know, was the Chidah, who we've quoted numerous times recently. And it's reported that when the Or HaChaim passed away, it was a Shabbos. It's reported that the Baal Shem Tov, who was however many miles away, was sitting at the Suda Shlishis meal on that very Shabbos, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the Su'udah, he made a cryptic statement, which was something to the effects of, the light in the west has just gone out. Nobody knew what he meant. They figured out later in the Or HaChaim. In any event, sometimes his commentaries are very, very long. This one is very short. Vayomer Leimor Ashira. What does it mean? Pirush. She'amru zeh lo zeh leimor. It means as follows: that they told one another zeh lo zeh leimor, to say the words of the Os Yashir song. Pirush. What does it mean? She'yomru shira yachad. They sang in unison. Beloy bechinas hishtanus v'hafrada. Without ishtanus. Ishtanus means like shonet. There was no change. There were no differentiations. There was no hafrada. There was no dissension. No separation. Everyone was together. Actually, ki ish echad. They were totally together, completely united. Ki ish echad. Hagam yosem rabim. Even though many people were there, right? They all just left Egypt. Lots of people there. You think, what's the chance of getting people to agree? Basically zero. It's basically the chance to get everyone to agree. Let alone, I mean, even in shul, you come to shul, if there's more than two people saying Kaddish, it's already they're saying like different tefillos in different time zones, and like this guy's saying Kaddish, you're like, no, slow down, slow down. You can't even manage to say Kaddish together. Hundreds of thousands of people together at the Yam Suf. Says the Or HaChaim, they said the whole thing together, even though so many people v'niskavnu yachad, not just did they recite it together, but v'niskavnu yachad. But they were aligned. Then how do they translate Arts Roll? Let's see. Okay. V'niskavnu yachad v'osu kain. Arts Roll says they then concentrated on singing together and actually did that. Okay. And further, we see that they said Oshira, the diktuk of Oshira, I will sing. One person, Oshira, I will sing. How many people were there? Lots. Oshira, I will sing is in the singular. Ki Elohim heim ish echad, as if they were one individual. Because if they had not been singing on that, in that way, in that manner of total unity, of total connectivity, then they wouldn't be able to say Oshira, I will sing. They would have had to say Noshira, we will sing. That's the Or HaChaim. Okay, we'll hold on to the Or HaChaim. We're going to come back to the Or HaChaim in Mirz Hashem. Okay, let's take a look. Source number 2 is a Sikha from the Lubavitcher Rebbe on this week's Parsha. And that's pretty much what we're going to stick with for the rest of today's discussion, for the most part. And I just took a few excerpts to try to give you flavor here. We're going to do out of order. Source number 3, by the way, is only there because it fit on the page. It's really not source number 3. It should be probably source number 4, and source number 4 should be source number 3. Anyway, we'll get there. Okay. Just don't get excited, bro. We're going to go out of order a little bit. Source number 2, look with the Sikhs, volume 31. It's a Sikha for Parshas Beshalach, and it's the first Sikha. And it's on page 70, on the right column over here. So let's try to explain, why is it in the Gemora and Sotah that no matter which opinion you want to go, like Rabbi Akiva, or Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Saglili, or Rabbi Nechemiah, even though there are differences in how they believe that we recited Shira at the Yam Suf, however, they all agreed that Moshe began. Even Rabbi Nechemiah, who seemingly it's pointless for Moshe to initiate singing Shir according to Rabbi Nechemiah, because we were blessed with Ruach HaKodesh anyway. But according to everyone, the whole thing needed to be introduced by Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because ki achdus muchletes kazu, because to reach such an elevated level of achdus, of unity, so elevated, like we saw in source number 1 in the Arachayim, which the Rebbe quotes in the Sikha right before this, so elevated, they were totally like one person. That even though there were many of them, they were completely aligned. One, I like v'niskabnu yachad. Yeah, they translated the art scroll as they concentrated on singing. I'm going to go with they were completely aligned one with the other. That's what I'm going to go with in my unofficial translation. They were aligned with each other. They were totally in tune. No pun intended. In order to reach such an elevated level of achdus, completely in tune one with the other, totally aligned, completely concentrating on the singing together. Shekol Yisrael Yihu Ish Echad, that we were all like one person. Where else does it say we were like Ish Echad? Har Sinai says Ish Echad. This is in many ways the preparation for that. Right? We're going to Har Sinai from here. This is the preparation for that. Adults, children, everybody. Including fetuses in their mother's womb. The only way to attain such a level of unity is if you have Moshe Rabbeinu leading the way, if you have Moshe Rabbeinu forging the path. I forgot to mention this before, we'll go back to the Gemora just for a minute, a short minute. Below the square that I quoted over here, at the bottom of the page, we don't have, it's the middle of a sentence, we'll just read the part of it because we don't have the next Daf Lamed Aleph, but the last line. Rabbi Meir was wont to say, not Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Meir. He used to say, because it was like something that he would repeat, apparently. From where do we know that even the fetuses in their mother's womb, they also sang Shira? And he gives a proof. The proof is on the next page, but whatever. The point is that even a fetus, a baby inside his mother's womb, also sang Shira at the Yam Suf, which we're going to see in source number 3, which we're going to do out of order later. A Givaldiki Inyan by that. Unbelievable. We're going to get to that. So back to source number 2. So the Rebbe is saying here, if you're going to reach such an achdus, that everyone, hundreds of thousands of people, men, women, children, and even unborn babies, are going to sing Shira together, concentrated, aligned one with the other, that's only possible if you have Moshe Rabbeinu to lead the way.
That's an answer for Rebbe Heavy.
Oh, good. That's right. Let's explain a little bit. Being that Moshe Rabbeinu is the leader, he's the Nasi Hador, he's the leader of the generation. He himself includes everyone within him. Where do I get such a radical idea from? You know where I get such a radical idea from? Did you ever learn the Bible? Did you ever learn Chumash before? You learn Rashi? Rashi has interesting stuff in there. If you look in Rashi, in Chumash Bamidbar, where is it? That's a good question where it is. I think it's Perek Chof Aleph, Pasuk Chof Aleph, I think. Yeah. Look at this. Parshas Chukas. I did have this originally on the source sheet, but I actually took it off because it quotes it anyway. We're about to read inside. Rashi says here, chapter 21, verse 21, Parshas Chukas. Reading in black and white. Shemoshe hu Yisrael. This is Rashi. Shemoshe hu Yisrael, v'Yisrael heim Moshe. Moshe is the Jewish people, and the Jewish people are Moshe. Loimer lacha, which comes to teach you, Shanasi Hador hu kechol Hador, that the Nasi of the generation, Nasi means the prince, literally, the leader of the generation is considered kechol Hador, like the entire generation. Ki Nasi hu akol, for the leader is everything. Or you may translate, they translate it here, for the leader is the collective embodiment of everyone. So that's why Moshe needs to open it up. That's why Moshe needs to begin singing Shira. Back in source number 2. Being that Moshe Rabbeinu is the leader of the generation. He's the Nasi Lochin hareu kolos kol dor ke'echad includes the entire people as one. Of a lashon Rashi, as Rashi says here in Parshas Chukas, chapter 21, verse 21. Moshe who Yisrael and Moshe. Moshe is the Jewish people, and the Jewish people are Moshe. Shenasi ador kechol ador ki anasi wakol. That's why I didn't quote it separately in a source sheet because we had a quote here. The Nasi is everything. The Nasi of the generation, the Moshe Rabbeinu, is the collective embodiment of the entire people. And continuing, V'achdos zu the Yisrael, kefisha inklulim b'Moshe, harehi be'ofen shalamayla miskalkos. Such a unity, the way that we exist, each of us at this table, the way that we are included within Moshe Rabbeinu, within the Nasi. The Nasi is everything. Moshe is us and we are Moshe. So the way that we exist in Moshe is beyond distinction. Ki anasi kishmoi, interesting. Menus so muvdo min ha'am, givaldi. Why do we call him a nasi? Why not, I don't know, a rebbe? Why not rebbe? Or why not, whatever, a dayan or a shofet? All these other words which we do use. But the leader is the nasi. Because the word leader, nasi literally what I translate is prince. But the rebbe here says it means it's menusa, is elevated and separate from the entire nation. From his shoulders and above, he's taller than everyone. That doesn't mean he was taller physically, although maybe taller in stature as well. But it means that his shoulders, which represent his midos, were above the head, which represents the intellect of all the people.
That's what king means.
Yeah.
That's Shalom, right?
Correct.
That's why he's not to the same amount.
That's a good question. The Rebbe discusses that in the Sikh a little bit, but we didn't include it in the Shir because it's a little too much of a digression for me to handle. Maybe we'll come to another time. And therefore, therefore the unity, the way we, each of us, are included within Moshe, the Nasi, who is beyond distinction. You and me equal. A man, a woman, an adult, a child, even an unborn baby. Like we say in the davening in Yantiv. That everything is equal. By the Nasi, by the leader of Klal Yisrael, everybody's included within him, completely equal, no distinction. That's why everyone is singing Shira together, right? Therefore, by Moshe initiating, regardless of which opinion of the three opinions in the Gemara you hold by Moshe initiating the song, means that we are following after him. It doesn't just mean chronologically, oh Moshe, you start and I'll follow. It's irrelevant if I know the song or I don't know the song. The point is that now that Moshe has initiated, now I have his koiches. I'm going with his strength. He's paved the way. That's how everyone was able to sing equally, like the Orach Chaim says. Like the Orach Chaim says, that's a quote from the Orach Chaim, without any distinction, no division, everybody's singing equally. How is it possible? Because Moshe started. And once Moshe initiated the song, we have a Moshe song. We have a song that's Moshe, Hu Yisrael, Yisrael, Hey Moshe, that we're all equal in that way. Incidentally, Hashgacha Pratis, I saw yesterday, I'm on, Nir told me not to get to too many of these WhatsApp groups, but I got in this WhatsApp group that sells Svarim. Nir told me I should stay away from some of the groups. But I'm on one, there's this great story, if you've never been to go, Mizrahi in Brooklyn. It's unbelievable. So he sends out every day, yesterday, and he sends out mostly Svarim, and occasionally sends out letters. Original letters signed by Rebbe Feinstein, he said one sent out, by the Choshev Gedoyle Yisrael. Just yesterday, he sent a letter, like I sent a picture of the letter that you could purchase it for whatever, and he sends books and stuff. If you want to buy it, you just let him know. The letter was written by one of the early prime ministers of Israel, Yitzchak Ben Tzvi. How do you say prime minister in the modern day state of Israel? Nasi. So there's a letter from the Rebbe to the Yitzchak Ben Tzvi. Where the Rebbe, at the top of a letter, we all have to remember the formalities of addressing a letter at the top right, or top left, whatever. You write the person's name and address, then you write greetings and whatever, and then you write the letter. So top of the letter, he writes Mr. Ben Zvi, not Prime Minister. Nasser. In the letter, maybe it's the PS of the letter, it's the PS. It's printed in the Rebbe's correspondence. With regards to the title of the honorific title that I addressed you, I'm sorry, I'm just paraphrasing from it, I don't know, it's not the exact words. I apologize, I'm not able to call you Nasi. Right? I cannot call you Nasi. Because, again, just paraphrasing, the Prime Minister of Israel is not the Nasi. The Nasi is Moshe Rabbeinu. The Nasi is the leader of Klal Yisrael. And then the Rebbe writes a fascinating thing. And ever since I was 3 years old, I began to picture in my mind the Geula, the redemption of the Jewish people out of Golus, the extrication of Klal Yisrael from the depths of Golus through Mashiach. And this has been on my mind. I don't remember the exact words, but I pictured it since I was 3 years old. Ever. So I can't call you Nasi. But anyway, the real Nasi is, what's it mean to be a Nasi? A Nasi is Menusa. That's what the word means. That Prince is how we translate it. That's what it means also, but it means elevated. The Nasi is beyond everything and is able to include all of us. Let's go to source number 4. And we'll come back to source number 3, God willing. Page number 2, source number 4, which is the same volume of Likutei Sichos of the Rebbe, a page later. Now let's try to explain. Let's go through the 3 different opinions in the Gemara and Saita. Rabbi Akiva, who said that Moshe says the entire Shira and we just repeat Ashir al-Hashem. Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Saglili, who says that Moshe says each phrase and we repeat exactly that same phrase. And Rabbi Nechemia, who says Moshe just started it off and we just kept going with Ruach HaKodesh, as Rashi says. Since, like the Orach Chaim says, that the whole inyan of the Shira was very unique, with total achdus. We had to all recite it with total unity. Therefore, everyone agreed. Aleph, all 3 opinions meaning. Number 1, that Moshe had to initiate. Why? Why did Moshe have to initiate? Like we just said, because he is the one who initiated and brought about the achdus of Klal Yisrael necessary for this moment. This was no regular song. So it required Moshe Rabbeinu to initiate. And then we could follow in his path. And we could go with his koyach. Base, the second thing that's required. They joined together with the song of Moshe, meaning, they felt that we are Moshe. Like Rashi says, Yisrael hey Moshe. We are Moshe, that's who we are. So I'm not singing like second best. I'm singing with him, together with him. Tachlis ha'achdus Yisrael, total unity. So what are they arguing about then? So meaning that's what they all agree on. So what are the 3 opinions in Saita arguing about? The only difference is in what way exactly did they feel connected to Moshe? In what way precisely did they feel like they were singing with Moshe? As follows. According to Rabbi Akiva, again, Moshe is saying the whole thing. The Yisrael and the Jewish people, they only said Ashir Hashem v'hainu, meaning Shekol Yisrael yotzu yedei amis Ashir b'amidas Moshe. Did I say the whole Shira? According to Rabbi Akiva? No. I was like someone else said, like if you make Kiddush for me, I don't have to say Kiddush. I can hear your Kiddush. And that works 100%, right? You could recite Kiddush for me. Well, of course, with under certain conditions, there are certain criteria for that. So that's the way Rabbi Akiva basically held. That Moshe said it. I didn't say the whole thing. I was fulfilled my obligation. I was Yotzi through Moshe. That's Rabbi Akiva. Well, that's Rabbi Akiva, Zuki Shlemus Achdus. And in fact, according to Rabbi Akiva, that's the real Achdus. I don't need to say Kiddush. You say Kiddush. And I'm with you in that Kiddush. That's real achdus, according to Rabbi Akiva. One person says Kiddush for everybody. That's the complete, the ultimate achdus. When each individual suspended their own sense of self, set themselves aside. Oh, Moshe, you sin. I'm good. I'm good with you. And Moshe, when they were Yotzi through Moshe singing, all we did was respond. Like the person who hears your Kiddush just says, Amen. And then they're Yotzi Kiddush. Similar over here. We kind of just stood there and answered and responded. That emphasizes that Moshe doing it is the same as me doing it. That's Achdus. That the whole reality of the Jewish people is Moshe. That's the Achdus. That's the Bikini. Questions, comments? It's okay so far? Next opinion. Rabbi Eliezer, Benoish Rabbi Yosef Glili. Das Rabbi Eliezer. Second opinion, we responded, we just repeated exactly what he said. Why? Because Rabbi Eliezer holds because the real achdus is not just me saying, I don't need to make my own kiddush, you make kiddush. I'll be yotzi with you. That's not the ultimate achdus according to Rabbi Eliezer. According to Rabbi Eliezer, it's that each individual had to feel the achdus on their own level, not just to set themselves aside. But, oh, Moshe, you're better at making kiddush than I am. So to speak. You're better at singing shira. I'm with you. No, I'm going to sing shira too. I want to feel the unity. I'm going to say exactly what you say together, one after the other. That's the achdus that Rabbi Eliezer believes is a higher level of achdus, according to his approach. The beoifan anal shoy un achav rak asher al Hashem mugash yisol kfi shemmadrigosam mitzad mitziusam einu b'matzav shel achdus muchlates ve'o achdus tulia b'tzeh shehem rak oinin achrei Moshe bebitul gamur. According to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva is missing something. All we did was say Amen, or Asher al Hashem rather. But we weren't really in it, so to speak. We weren't really in it. And therefore, Rabbi Eliezer, therefore, he holds, no, we're going to sing Shira exactly like Moshe says it. But who's leading? Moshe is still leading. We're only responding. We're only responding. It's contingent on Moshe. So he just had a different way of looking at Achdus. What about Rabbi Nechemia? Rabbi Nechemia, he held Shagam Shiras Bnei Yisrael Yachad Goifim V'Mayna LeMoshe, that even us, each of us, sang it individually, together, as a response to Moshe. Ein Bo Adayin Tachlis Ha'is Achdus Ad Sheyiru B'Shveim She'Yisrael Ein Moshe. That also is not the fullest Achdus, according to Rabbi Nechemia. We don't feel she's Yisrael Ein Moshe. Why? Because I'm only answering, I'm only responding to you, to Moshe. And therefore, V'lochi L'das Reb Nechemia, Amrua Kulon Yachad, B'lishu Mischalkus Klau. Says in Reb Nechemia, you know what the real Achdus is? Nobody's responding to anybody. We're all saying it completely in unison together. That's Achdus. Even Moshe Rabbeinu is not going to be a step ahead of me. I'm going to say it together with Moshe and together with you the same. That's the real Achdus according to Rabbi Nechemia. Then why does Moshe need to begin? We said before. Just the very ability for us to all say Shira together is only possible because Moshe paved the way first by beginning and initiating the song. Is this making a little bit of sense? Okay, so let's backtrack, I guess, for a minute to source number 3, and then we'll conclude with source number 5. Source number 3 is a teaching from the Mittler Rebbe, the second Rebbe of Lubavitch. And he says as follows. after the period on the first line. Ach b'Kriyas Yamsuf. What happened to Kriyas Yamsuf? Afilu neshama shehein b'vchinas ibur dekatnus behelim, which is a Kabbalistic terminology. What it really means is that a fetus who's in utero, behelim, is concealed, can't even see it. Okay, I guess you see a bump in the mother's stomach, or I guess not technically the stomach, right? But you see a bump, you can tell it, but you can't see the baby. The baby is behelim, it's concealed, it's hidden. It's fact, it eats and is sustained through the umbilical cord. It's part of the mother, basically. Even they were oimim shira begilui besimcha. Even they, who for all intents and purposes are just a part of the mother, but even they, before they're born, while they're still in utero, are singing shira at the Yamsuf, begilui, revealed besimcha. How so? The fishakol helam yotza legilui, because at the time of Kriyas Yamsuf, everything that was hidden was yotza legilui, came to the surface. Everything that was concealed, everything that was hidden, everything that was beneath the surface was revealed. That's what happened to Yamsuf, right? The ocean, which covers the seabed, splits and everything is revealed. Everything is shown. So even those people who were hidden in utero, also became revealed, and they sang Shira. Even the fetuses in their womb of their mother, were included within and hidden within the mother. They became like an independent human being, like an independent entity. And that which was closed, right? It says when the baby is in utero, the mouth is closed, the eyes are closed, the ears are closed. It opened up to sing Shir at the Yamsuf. That's what happened. Everything came to the surface. Everything was revealed. Back to source number 5, and we will wrap up with this. On the right column. Now we'll get back to the point. The Jewish people, together with Moshe Rabbeinu, singing Shira. The fact that Moshe initiated, he started it. This caused or activated all of us to also sing Shira. Why? Or how? The Pintel Yid, that every Yid has this Nekuda, or they say, right, the Pintel Yid, that's what they call it, the Nekuda. In Kabbalah, you might say, or Chassidus, it's the language level of the neshama called the Yechidah. Everybody has this level of neshama, and that's why everybody's singing Shira equally, men, women, children, etc.
But this particular point is the same within everyone.
Right.
Okay, so he's saying that's what's Shabbat.
Yeah, I think in this footnote 54, I think he says there's 3 different levels of it.
3 levels of what?
Yeah, it's a whole footnote about this. What you're asking about.
Okay.
I didn't include the footnote in the Sikha. It says that the 3 opinions in the Gemora about the way they sang Shira goes together with the 3 ways in which that Pintel Yid could come out, could be revealed. Okay, but maybe we'll leave this for another time. That's why even the children, the infants, the nursing babies. We had last night here in Chabad House a Brit Yitzchak. You know what Brit Yitzchak is? When the Sfardim, right? The night before the bris, Brit. They get together, at least 10 men. They say the passage from the Zohar. So one of our like a Vachna, right? Vachnacht is same idea, I think. So whatever, Queen's College couple got married 2 years. They had twins, Baruch Hashem. So they had last night the Brit Yitzchak here, and we said the Zohar, and we said brachas and cookies or whatever it was. He brought the baby. One of the babies had the bris. The other is a little delay because it's a little bit small. Gonna be fine, but he brought first of all, babies are very small. Do you know that? Babies come very small. That baby would have sang Shira by Yamsuf. a few days old, a little tiny little creature, opened up its mouth and sang Shira, and even the ones that are still in Europe. Why? Because the Nekudas Hayadus, the Pintal Yidus, revealed at this time. So the Shira was all, the singing was equal. And furthermore, Gam who born the fetuses, because the singing was from the essence of a Jew, which includes a fetus as well. The essence of a Yid is equal, the smallest Jew and the biggest Jew. That's why the Or Chaim says Pshat. That's what he means in source number 1. That's how it was possible that we sang. What's the Or Chaim say? They sang Ad sheyu k'ish echad, ki'ilu heim ish echad. Why? Because this was such an unbelievable moment in the history of Klal Yisrael. The neshama was shining. The Pintal Yid was shining, and at that point, everybody's on the same page. We're all equated. A big Jew, a small Jew. I remember when my Suli was a baby, or maybe he was 1 or 2 or some little kid. My son Mendel, at one point said, I don't remember the context. He said out of nowhere, out of the context, I don't remember exactly. There's no such thing as a small Yid, not even Sruli, who was the little one in the family at the time. It was very cute. Not even the little one. He's not little either. So at that level, we reach the level of the Or Chaim, where there's no hishtanus v'hafrada. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine living in a world, living in a reality where we're all equal, not the same, right? We're not. It's not a politically correct class. We're not to be PC. When the equality shine, when we can all come together with our differences, but shine equally. And that's what happened to Shiras Yamsuf. That was the Chiddush. This equality, if you want to call it that, is existent right now too. The Pintal Yid is there. In you, in me, in everybody. In the public school kids that come to Chabad every Wednesday and trash the place from time to time. They have a Pintal Yid also. You have to activate it. And that's what happened to Kriyas Yamsuf. The Chiddush is not that we have a Pintal Yid. The Chiddush was that it was revealed at that time. And that's why we're saying Shira together, like the Or Chaim says. Listen to this. And that's why once we reach the state of Achdus, how did we express it? By singing. That's how you express the real unity, by singing. Hamoira simcha. Because singing shows simcha. Singing is an indication of simcha. You hear? So when we reach this level of givaldik achdus, like the Or Chaim says, what do you do then? You sing. That's what you do. So we sing. Because simcha has the power to break through any obstructions. And the same thing is today, 2026. That's not when the Rebbe said this Farbrengen. By the way, when did the Rebbe say the Farbrengen? If you look in the left column that we didn't get to yet, in the little italicized, not quite italics, but brackets, it tells you the source of this sikha. Where was this? Which Farbrengen was this? Misicha Shabbos Parshas B'Shalach Tovshin Memches, 1988. During that year of Tovshin Memches, by the way, that means that this was I didn't look it up. Either mamish right before or mamish right after the Rebbe's wife passed away. And already from the beginning of that year, Rosh Hashanah, Tavshin Mem, what does Tavshin Mem spell? Tismach, be happy. So the Rebbe was speaking at every Fabreng in that year, Simcha, 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 and continued. And that was the year his wife passed away. Chav Beis Shvat, her yahrzeit is coming up, the 22nd of Shvat, Tavshin Mem Ches. So that's when this Farbrengen was just interesting. Tavshin Mem Ches Simcha. So it says, "Ki simcha peiretzes geder v'chein binyaneinu." So too for us. She peiretzes es hagbolos v'agdorish ala adam umagil atzos mus nafshe. That when we really have simcha, when we really have simcha, we were speaking on Shabbos, we could go OCZ, out of the comfort zone. Totally break out of all of the things that are holding us back, that are restraining us. Simcha also is the idea of revelation, just like Kriyas Yamsuf is revealing, is uncovering the hidden, that even the fetuses are coming out to the open, so to speak, and singing. That this brings the achdus in revealed matter. Like we said, this is my God, as Chazal tell us, as if we could point with our finger. The Rebbe concludes, and so should be for us. May it be for us. Hashem should give us a bracha. We should hear the 10th and final shira. When the great congregation will return. With Mashiach coming very speedily, and may it be with simcha and nachas for each and every one of us. We should be zeicha to sing shira, the shira of Mashiach coming, the shira of returning to Eretz Yisrael, the shira of building the Beis Hamikdash. Imagine the songs we're going to sing. Imagine the fabrengen that's going to happen. Mashiach comes. They say, this is what we've been waiting for. So hopefully we'll be zeicha very, very soon. B'charav mamish. Thank you. I don't know if anyone had questions or comments, but thank you everyone very much for coming. And we should be zeicha to this shira and to this achdus of the Or Chaim and so forth. Thank you everyone for coming. Oh, and Leil Shishi will meet, God willing, tomorrow, 8:30. Everyone's invited. And Shabbos as regular. Pick a minor for Shabbos morning, but other than that.